Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your host, the smoothest fingers in the gaming industry, AZ, bringing you another YouTube video today. Hope you're having a wonderful, blessed, God-given day. There's a little bit of light coming in from my sunlight. I meant my window. I'm pretty sure you knew that, but it's coming through my window. It looks great outside, and I just want to let a little bit of light in because, you know, the light, it comes from within us and it comes from up above, man. You know how it goes. So today we're going to talk about some Valorant gameplay. I know you guys are probably like, why are you switching it up from Call of Duty? I want to continue to do both. I'm just not enjoying Call of Duty's competitive at the moment, and definitely not its ranked play. And I always say, if you don't play the game, don't coach it, don't scout it, and don't have a lot of opinions on it because you don't really know what's going on, so you can't make an educated decision about what's going on here. So I've been playing a lot of Valorant, enjoying a lot of Valorant, but in this video, what we're going to talk about is 100 Thieves, baby. We're going to talk about them 100 Thieves. We're going to talk about Nate Shot's team. We're going to talk about all of this stuff. We're going to talk about Hiko, one of the best in the game at the moment. We're going to talk about a lot of people, man. We're going to go over this stuff, enjoy this, and most importantly, break it down so that I can improve, you can improve, and we can get a better feel for just how the Valorant competitive landscape is situating itself and how it's growing. Because right now, it's really starting to take that next step, and I want to talk about it, and I want to have some fun. So let's get this transition going, and let's get it. Hell yeah, back in this motherfucker like we never left. All right, so let's talk about TSM here. I want to just make this right off the bat and just come out and say it. This was the most pathetic performance by TSM that I've seen in recent memory. And this Icebox game really upset me because it wasn't like 100 Thieves when they played T1. T1's also a really good team, and I felt like T1's a top 3 team. They just ran into 100 Thieves. But at the same time, I really want to say right here that TSM did not do their homework whatsoever. It's not like TSM didn't have any film to go on from 100 Thieves, and I know people are going to say, well, TSM just got done playing, they probably had all this. TSM is an organization that can afford to make some scouts and some coaching changes, and can afford to build up a coach or a scout, or have somebody do it for free, coach and scout, and see what's going on with the team that they're playing ahead, and watch those games that they're playing ahead. And they just didn't look prepared. Again, I don't want to say it's just on the players, because a great team and a great organization has things squared off from the top to the bottom, a la 100 Thieves, FaZe Clan. These are teams that have just enough resources to be able to put into that stuff, and I just didn't see it here from TSM at all. And I'm not just blaming the players or blaming the players, excuse me. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is just from top to bottom. So right here, what you're going to see is that on Icebox, TSM fails to control the B site and push up the B site. Instead, they want to play A site most of the time, and they didn't play retake on A. I'm not saying that this is the right way to play Icebox or this is the best way to play Icebox, but for 100 Thieves, the way that they were getting beat by T1 on Icebox in Game 2 of the last match in the last series, you should have learned from that here, and you should have did the exact same thing. When you have a certain players, when you have certain play styles, when you see how people play and they rotate in their game, you have to play to their weaknesses. You have to go straight at their weaknesses. If you don't, you play into their hands of strengths. And when you have people like TSM and 100 Thieves, there's not that much of a difference between them besides who rotates, who executes, and who game plans better, excuse me. So we're going to take a look at that today. We're going to let this play out, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what happens. What you want to pay attention to in this first round that I'm showing you is the push up here. The reason you want to gather this area right here is because when you're gathering this area, you can easily take it. And if you do take it, or let me just say this before we get into that. If you push up here, it's easier to get to their spawn and read what's going on. But if you take it, you can easily control almost half of the map right here, especially if you have a guy right here. You have 3 players essentially shutting this off, and there's not enough time for them to rotate through the base and get behind you without somebody at A or somebody in mid placed watching that. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. At least in the bare minimum, you're going to get intel. But even if you lose one right here, or you drop a person, or you have to back up, at least you still have this to fall back on, this little box right here. I'm pretty sure you guys all know what I'm talking about. I'm not really good with callouts. I have different callouts for different things than what the map actually says and what the pros say. This is just how me and my team work, and the teams that I've played with work. However, you have this to fall back on, and you can have somebody overlooking this to make sure that he crosses back over. It's just simple stuff that I thought in Valorant and in any type of match playing, that map playing, not match playing, that they would understand. But we don't see that happen too often with TSM. In fact, I don't think we've seen this for like the first 7-8 rounds. And the couple of rounds that they did, they really controlled B. And I want to make it obvious and make it clear here that A site is the retake site. You see what I'm saying? Like, you see how close that they are bunched up right here while they have their 2 players, or 1 player, excuse me, looking at this. You're leaving 1 player basically soloed off, and he's just going to get picked. Like, it's an easy pick because you have all players. I mean, he drops, and now you have to scramble to get over here. And you have a Killjoy watching the flank, which is a good idea by 100 Thieves to watch the flank and sit in the base. It's a very different approach to what happens in the game, but you're going to see them just absolutely scramble here. And by the time 100 Thieves gets around to this box, it's a 4v2. You don't even have the Sova playing in this area right here to control coming under mid. It makes no sense to me, and I don't know who game planned for this, because it's absolutely something we've seen T1 do over and over and over again. And I also want to say something else. Wardell's opping on this map and in this game against 100 Thieves, and even in this series in 100 Thieves, was very lackluster. I'm being highly critical of him because he's better than that, and he's also a tad cocky. I just want to say that, man. I love you as a player. Cool as hell, probably don't know you, but I tell you, man, you're just a little cocky, and it showed in this game. There's a lot of shots that Wardell shouldn't have took and that they shouldn't have had. So I want to talk about this 3v3 right here, right? This is super clutch, or 4v3, excuse me. This 4v3 right here can still go in TSM favor if they played this just right. So you have the Sage looking out and towards this area right here, right into this box right here. I don't know what people call this. We just call this outer B. I mean, that's literally all we call this whole section right here is outer B. But in outer B, he's looking right towards the bomb site, and he's looking outside of it, so he's got his eyes on it. But he has Raze about to peek with him. Look at that double peek. He gets picked, and then look at the trade. Easy trade. Now, it's not the same player for the trade, but oh my goodness, I mean, the double peek just to make sure that they trade that out is wonderful. Now, again, we'll still see exactly how 100 Thieves play this, but we're going to see how TSM botch it even worse. Watch this. So they're going to go ahead and back up. Killjoy is going to use her ult. Right here we have Asuna basically going to chow the op. He's challenging the op, or at least getting a play onto the op while Wardell's backing off. The problem with this is Wardell is playing so far back instead of playing this outer B or playing top to help his buddy, that Omen's going to get left out and get picked off super easily by the fucking back player Sova, which is Hiko, you know, the legend. But he gets played by the back player. He just gets absolutely played. Now Wardell's left in a 1v3 situation. He has to save the op, and he's gonna have to fucking back up here. Why right here he's even feeling the need to even chow it a little bit is beyond me. You have 27 HP. He had 27 HP, and instead of saving the op, he goes for a flick for no reason. I'm sorry, man, but you're down 3-0. Your econ's already pretty low, if not bad. You should definitely save the op. Am I wrong? And this is what I was talking about to you guys about him being cocky. That's a cocky shot. That's somebody who's not playing for the team. He's not playing for intelligence. He's playing for the highlight plays. And I understand that's just how he is. That's how he is as a player. That's how he's got to where he's at right now. But right now, this should be a knife out, dart across. Dart, get to the back of A and try to hold down lines of sight at A, and he doesn't do that. He loses the op and puts them in an even worse situation against the second best team in A. I just can't say that I agree with that at all. And that's basically everything that happened this whole game with TSM. It was over and over and over and over and over again that I said this on my stream when I was watching it. This should not happen. This team is better than this. They should have better coaching than this. They should have better scouting than this. And that's all I wanted to show you guys for today, was just the confidence that Wardell played with, and just, I wouldn't even say confidence, man. That's a cocky thing. I mean, that play right there really told me everything I needed to know, and it showed me almost everything that I wanted to see. Wardell just absolutely needs to play better. I'm not saying to drop him or anything like that, like some people on Twitter have been calling for. I'm not saying that. I think it's a great player, but he has to tune that down, and he has to get better. And it's just some healthy criticism that I'm trying to put out there for him, that those shots just can't be taken. But at the same time, it's some criticism for a team that I really would like to see succeed in TSM. They gave us a great couple matches and a great couple of runs, but they need to be playing in Masters, man. They really do. They got that type of talent that they could play for Masters and be a really good Valorant team, if not a great Valorant team. But when you have stuff like that, when you have plays like that, and the regain in the halftime wasn't there, I mean, it just goes to show exactly what is happening on Icebox, especially when T1 just showed that TSM could be beat by the way that they were playing and the way that I just broke it down to you. It just goes to show that there's not enough film being watched and there's not enough attention to detail over at TSM. But hey, man, credit to 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves played fucking amazing. They played really well. I'm very surprised with just how dominant they have been. But I mean, when you got a guy like Hiko, excuse me, a veteran in the game, a person who's used to the pressure moments and is just a clutch master, I mean, what is it that you really can do against people like that? And I love to see the way 100 Thieves bounce back and just the way their composure was to really regain, learn from their mistakes on Icebox, and then come to TSM and absolutely handle them on that same map. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, it's your boy AZ. Bless up. As always, God bless. If you want to see more of these, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about these matches, and let me know if there's any other matches that you would like to see me break down. Thank you so much for tuning into the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.